Welcome back to SDA Shermans with Preacher Joel and today I'll be preparing. I know this is kind of weird here since this is not a regular upload because this is not a regular sermon upload. Instead, this is more like a recipe that we'll be making. So I should have done this last week because last week was communion week, but my hands were hurt here, so I couldn't do it. But this week, next time you could make this for communion bread next time. So our ingredients for today will be 2 cups. We'll use one cup of sifted whole wheat flour, and then we will put a few pinches of salt. We don't have to follow everything because last time we also didn't follow everything. And we will put probably 3.5 tablespoons of oil, 3.5 to 4 because we don't want it too dry. And then we'll put 1/4 cup of cold water. And then what you're gonna do is you gotta whip together with a fork the wet ingredients, which is oil, water, and salt. Then you pour that liquid mixture into the flour and you mix sparingly with a fork. Then you gotta knead. That's why your hands must be very clean, which I will get my hands clean later. Put them, if you have a rolling pin, you can just roll it over. Or now you gotta press until your hands break and you break the table. Oh, I'm sorry that my audio didn't sound that good. I'll make it sound better now. Alright. It will be baked at 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. But you must watch carefully to make sure it does not burn. Last time I made a very simple almond flour and banana mixture cookie. I didn't get to eat it. Instead, the birds got to eat it. The birds and the squirrels because it was burned. So we'll start right now. Alright, so just to prove I'm washing my hands. Make sure you put a lot of soap. I know this sink, all the tape on the sides, can't talk much. I'll tell you more later. Oh, hold on. Gotta make sure your hands are clean, right? Alright. I'm done washing. Alright, the reason why I didn't really talk much was because it smells very hard to close your breath and talk at the same time. That's why. Because my sink is rotten wood smell. Over here we have flour and it's mixed. It's all put up very nicely. That's by our assistant. This is it 1 cup? Yeah, 1 cup. So this is 1 cup of flour. You're using 1 cup because you don't have too many. But if you have more, you can use 1.5. You can use 2. And this is just a 1/2 cup. So I got to do double of this. So if you have 1 cup, good for you. Alright, so that is oil. The oil, if you notice these days, not good for baking. You gotta really liquefy that. It's already October. If you really pay attention to the news, it's October. Oh, I think you need a separate bowl for what ingredients. Yeah, so it's already October. That's why the oil has already frozen up. That's bad. We gotta use another bowl for wet ingredients. It's gonna have wet and dry ingredients. So that's why. So in here we are going to use about some water. I think you just rewind it because I already forgot how much water. Oh my, that is so terrible. So right now we have 1/2 cup of water. All right, and then we're gonna look at me. We're gonna put some oil in. Now about 3 tablespoons or something. If I get it. I'm not sure because last week I still remember we got a few weeks ago, we gotta keep dumping in because it was still too very dry. So we needed a bit thicker. That's why we need to use some oil. And so now, this is the flour. I'm using whole wheat flour from Trader Joe's. If you don't have whole wheat brown, by the way, this is brown flour. If you don't have brown flour over here, the white ones, you could also use the white, but the brown one is healthier. Because the white ones, how could they be white? Because the wheat itself is already brown. They kind of modified the God's original and they changed it. Over here we have water, and this is pure water coming over there. But don't use faucet water because it's not that clean. Well, everything in this video will be all plant-based because we have to original diet. Plant-based. We do not need to use eggs because once again, this is communion cookies. And very simple. You don't have to buy mudzos from the outdoors. Just make your own. Well, if you're making for church, you could probably use, depending on the size of your church, if you have a giant church with at least 1,000 people, then you gotta use more flour in here. But we're just gonna make this for extra home foods because sometimes I cannot get full. That's what it's for. Terrible. Oil crystallized. So we cannot have crystallized oil used in baking. So the noisy stuff you hear in the background, we're trying to warm it up by putting it near the fire. So we gotta make it liquefy so that it's good for baking. Imagine having coconut oil chunks in your cookies. Don't talk about that. No way. If you wonder why we use coconut oil, we don't use olive oil because coconut oil is better for baking. Olive oil is more like raw for salads. You could use that on garlic bread. You could use that, but it's not for baking because I'm not really sure why, but we just don't use it for baking because it can't be heated like flora flaxseed oil. You can't heat it up. That's why we use this one. And alright, so now we're gonna use we don't want to add too much salt. This is about 1/4 of a teaspoon rather. Yeah, this is roughly like this much. Let me show you guys. You look here, it's just like, it's not really 1 tablespoon. It's just like at least a 1/4 of it. Alright, so you made it. We are adding the oil in, and this is salt. We're gonna add oil and salt into a separate bowl with water. And we're gonna whisk this together with a fork. We're gonna make sure it's all even up. The oil, the water, and the salt. After we are quite sure that's all even up, we can dunk it into the flour. So you see, my Sabbath preparation day is not a joke, okay? It has a lot of preparation, making some good stuff for Saturday. Alright, it looks kind of mixed up already. Later, we gotta dump this mixture right into the flour. And if you wonder what's this guy doing on the table, the sandwich bag, well, it's just something because our table is dirty, so we gotta use something neat on it. Alright, looks kind of mixed up. Alright, so we are adding in our mixture. Well, this looks like water in the middle of the desert. So we're gonna make sure, scoop one scoop at a time. The tortoise and the rabbit. If you dump all inside, it could spill out, and the tortoise wins. Not good to be fast, right? it's kind of getting me impatient trying to scoop up one scoop at a time. But yeah, work takes patience. If you want to be a champ, be patient. Alright, so probably we have too much in there. So we gotta just try to mix it up. We don't want it too wet either. We want the mixture to be just nice. Check it. Apparently it's a bit. Let's see. Yeah, it looks a bit kind of wet, so probably this is good. Yeah, probably a bit more. I don't know if are my hands wet. Scoop this up because, you know, a lot of helping needs. All mixed up. And then now, here comes the very, here comes the very greasy part. I gotta use my hands. So, yep, I might not be doing it so well because I'm not a very good person who really mixes stuff well, but I'm trying. I gotta stand up and mix it up. Yeah. At first, it kind of gets your hands messed up. Yeah. A kid who loves to go to the beach is a good one for you to ask to help. Well, feels like going to the beach and playing with the sand, right? That's why I said you gotta wash your hands. Who would eat your community cookies when your hands are all dirty? Gotta make sure it's all glued. We gotta make sure all the sides are all going with the mixture. It's not nice to have messy hands, if you know. That's why I cut my fingernails this morning. I'll deal with that later. Nobody wants to touch their mic with the messy hands. And this is our final product of what we have for the community cookies. We'll bake this in the oven, which is over behind there, which is not in the camera view, of course. We're gonna bake this at 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. But if yours is going to bake, so if yours are thick, use 15. But if yours are very thin, use 8 or 10. We don't want it to burn, but we want it lightly brown, so that's how we want it. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and the notification, and that's my button. Stay tuned for episode 33. I did. Get this all down. It's always good if it helps. Well, it's my first time baking all by myself. Yeah, it's kind of way too fast. So, I think we gotta add in a bit more flour. Alright, so now you're chopping up the pieces. I just need a bit, and then a little bit more there. So just take time, I'll cut bigger pieces.